The Nittany Lions and the Buckeyes, a rivalry born of one side setting the standard and the other trying to climb the mountain. And we are on the cusp of dotting the I on a great clash in this one. Welcome to the home of the Penn State Nittany Lions, Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. As we'll see a participant from last year's playoff, the Ohio State Buckeyes, taking on one of the top teams in this conference, the Penn State Nittany Lions. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. And the Nittany Lions will get us underway with the opening kickoff. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. This is what we expected. This crowd ready to make its presence known. Leaves it with the back. Not much doing there. He gets it to the 26, a gain of 1. The emotions and energy figure to be high all day, guys, because of what's at stake this late in the season. Really a must-win for both teams.
Yeah, these are the ones that get your blood moving, Reese. You get jacked up, man. We don't have to say anything in the locker room, give these big speeches. You know what's at stake, Jesse. You're ready to rock and roll. This is when you prove you're the big dog.
Which is pretty cool, too, because it's been a long season. And these teams obviously are both physically and mentally tired. But you're right. For this kind of game, this is...
Turning it on! The 10! Touchdown, Buckeyes! And once he got away from the D, they had no shot at catching him.
Well, this offense is top 10 in the country in points per game because they've got a lot of speed and they've got home run hitters. They score fast. They don't need 10 plays to go down the field. You saw it right there. They've recruited well. They've got playmakers. They're going to be a problem for defenses all year long.
Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Brown will throw it. Here comes the heat. And he got smacked just as he released the pass. It's incomplete. These two Blue Bloods really didn't become rivals until Penn State joined the Big Ten in the early 90s. But really, since then, Ohio State has been a bit of a measuring stick for Penn State.
I think we always talk about Penn State. We talk about winning the big games, and how do they play against Ohio State, a big rivalry. Palmer, it seems like they're always there. They're always in the game, but do they find a way to break through and win this rivalry?
Yeah, it's always so close, too. You think back to Woody Hayes and you think back to Joe Paterno. For years and years and years, when these two teams play, it is so physical. There's so much talent. It could go any way. This is one of the more fun games to watch every season.
Looking left. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be third down. It's pretty clear he didn't care about the double coverage. He thought his guy was better than their two guys.
Well, and there's reason to think that. That dude's a stud, and I understand it. I want to find ways to get him the football, but when it's 2-on-1, I might think about looking somewhere else.
On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Unloads to the wideout. Oh, man, another incompletion. That's 3 in a row.
Sometimes it takes quarterbacks a few plays to really get into the rhythm of the game and not force things. I think the quarterback that time was really trying to force the ball to his wide receiver, but against man coverage, there were other guys on that play that were open that could have had a chance. So this quarterback just needs to settle down a little bit. He won't be throwing as many incompletions if he just lets the coverage tell him where to go with the ball.
He was working his way on the return toward midfield. They'll stop him at the 46. Buckeyes roll that offense back out there. Already a solid start to this one. Now back to work with this 7-0 lead. He'll start this drive going to the air. Out of the crowd, and now he's got room. Couldn't ask for much more there. A first down, and they're down to the 42.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
Handoff to the single back. Inside the 30. There he goes. And he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Ohio State.
You know, oftentimes in college football, the best offenses are the ones that can create explosive plays, just like you saw right there. They're top 10 in the nation in points per game because they don't have to drive the field. They've got dudes scattered all over this offense that can take it the distance on any given play.
We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, every game in the SEC so vital to a team's season, and this one is no different. Florida sparkled today in a dominant road win. In fact, by the fourth quarter, it almost felt like this game was being played in the swamp. That's how much they took that crowd out of it. Going to be very interesting to see what the fallout from this one is because, as we know, you can't lose games in the SEC like this without some blowback.
And Kevin Connors keeping an eye on everything all over the country. Sounds like they had a good one there. Quarterback making adjustments. Brown wants to pass. Got a man. It's Landry. That one could really put this drive into high gear as they have a first down at the 37.
I think this receiver's forte is his route running. He's a guy that can line up all over the field, but it's not just catching post routes and goes. This guy can run shallows, he can run slants, he can run the option routes and find soft spots in the defense. This guy really has all the routes in his toolbox.
Someone not clear on the snap count. It'll be a false start, and they'll move it back. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. Quarterback empties his backfield. Motion from the wide receiver. He's looking to throw. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. Now, I know you two never faced off against each other in an actual rivalry game other than the Thanksgiving morning Turkey Bowl. But knowing you two the way I do and the way you know each other, Jesse, what would you have done to try to throw Pollock off a little bit on a stage like this?
In our opening 10-play script, I would have had David Pollock cut blocked. Maybe even double team high load, chop blocked on every single play early.
Which is illegal, you bum. That's fine. But that's fine. You know what? I guess in retaliation to that, we would have just roughed the passer over and over, taking the 15-yard penalty. That's what's fun about this, Reese. It's petty. It's sometimes it crosses the line of dirty, but that's why rivalries are so fun.
On 3rd and long, he'll need to push it downfield. He took a hit as he threw it and couldn't deliver the football. It's incomplete, and 4th down's coming.
This is a team right now playing with tons of confidence because of how much their defense is dominating. Just look what they did the last time they took the field, and look what they're doing early in this game. They've got dudes flying around making plays. They are a tough unit.
They boot it away. Wants to return it. And the punt team gets down there and gets the return man on the ground. Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. He put 2 touchdowns on the board in the early going, and now right back to work. First play of the drive, wants to throw. Buys a little extra time. Fires into traffic, intercepted. He managed a few yards on that return, but the bigger play was the fact that they forced the turnover.
Well, everything was going so well for this team early here in this game, and now all of a sudden they get a critical mistake. And you know how college football, David, is about momentum. What is their defense going to be able to do here now when they take the field?
You're right, man. The momentum swings so fast, and now this defense's job is to go out and stop it, right? Like, we made a mistake. You huddle the guys up, sudden change. Be aware they might take a shot down the field, but let's grab the momentum right back.
They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Brown will throw it. Got his man on the right. And they knock him down. There was nowhere to go. Defense is swarming.
And this offense, I think, will do a good job in this game divvying up the football and distributing it to different guys in the passing game. It won't just be receivers. It's not going to be tight ends. This running back, he's a weapon, too, after he catches it. You saw it right there.
On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. And they can't make the connection, and it could get worse. A penalty flag on the field, and it's in the holding zone. Let's get the call. They'll decline the penalty here and let the result of that play stand. So the offense is going to go for it on 4th down. They'll run for it. How about that defense rising up and stopping him short on 4th down?
Low man wins. Defense that time on 4th down was expecting run, and you saw at the point of attack how they just dominated. There was nowhere for that guy to go. Defense wins the down. They give it back up now to their offense.
Here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. Well, the good news about this drive, Jesse, it can't go worse than last time through a pick on the first. Oh, he's got some space. They've got it to the 49-yard line, and they'll move the chains. He's up to 57 yards rushing in this one, and he is well on his way to a 1,500-yard season. It'll be a 1st down from the 49-yard line. Defense showing heavy blitz at the line. These DBs going to give a little cushion. Looking to throw on 1st down. He just throws it away, and I think the flag's going to be coming in. There it is. Now on 2nd down. Wants to go up top. Rushes on him. This time he's got it. And the defense wrestles him to the ground.
This slot receiver gives defensive coordinators nightmares. You have got to double him virtually on every pass play. He better have safety help over top. Otherwise, this guy's a threat to score every time they throw the ball.
Here comes the noise from this big crowd in Happy Valley on 3rd down. The snap sets up to throw. And they can't make the connection on third down.
Well, the defense finally has figured it out. That was critical for their confidence because they had been scored on earlier. They'd given up a ton of yards. I think they understood the gravity of the situation. Third down, that was critical for them to get off the field, build momentum, build some confidence. Nice job that time by the defense.
Punt is on its way. Not able to pop the big return, but they've got the ball back and ready to go with a fresh possession. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They haven't exactly burst out of the starting blocks, and they need to get something together with this possession. The toss to the outside. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
You know when you're playing against a defense of this caliber, you're going to have some sort of balance, right? You can't just drop back and throw it every single play. Nothing going on that last run. They're going to have to find another way to get it going and handing the ball off.
Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Brown wants to pass. Hauls it in. He's really close to that first down marker, but they stop him just a bit short. The Nittany Lions come to the line trying to find a way to convert on 3rd and very short. They'll try to pick up the first through the air. Got his man quickly. And he gets it to the 44-yard line. It'll be a first down. These two guys, just on the same wavelength, they make clutch connections all the time.
And that's practice, man. That's all summer. That's all spring. Just so many hundreds and thousands of balls where you know exactly when that guy's going to break. You know he's a stud. You're going to feed him, especially on these third down situations.
So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. Well, that's going to make it a little tougher. It's 1st and 20. They'll send the back in motion. An unforced error there. They don't get the snap off in time. Offense took a little bit too much time at the line there. I'm sure the play is complex, but it doesn't involve the official also throwing a flag in the middle of it. 1st and 25. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
Man, it's fun to watch defense that just, they look so in sync and coordinated. And watching the tape coming into this week's game, you could tell last week, this defense was dialed in. They don't give up big plays. They don't give up points. They make you earn everything. Looking like another game like that so far today.
Quickly complete. And they'll make the stop, and we are headed to the end of the first period. Well, guys, Ohio State has the lead here, and they were able to build that lead into double figures. Let's take a quick look at our early stats before we move on. Just about ready to get things started here in the second. We'll see if they continue to flex that muscle. So they had a chance to talk over this third down play to open the period. They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game. The quarterback just lost track of the play clock, didn't get the snap off quickly enough. Ball's at the 27. This offense facing a 3rd and long. Quarterback may change this route. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. And they can't hook up on the big play, and that brings up a 4th down.
It just looks to me like the offense is starting to get a little bit impatient, right, guys? They haven't scored in this game yet, and all of a sudden now they're taking shots down the field, and they're trying to make it happen. But the defense, they have been lights out. They force another incompletion.
He gets a block. Really nice job all the way around. Got a few blocks, made a couple of moves, and a good return on that one before he's pushed out of bounds. Buckeyes roll that offense back out there. They've had a really productive first half so far, and they'll try to add to it here. You'll take this every time. 5 yards on the first down play.
And that's a really nice play. It's impressive. When it's first down and the defense thinks you might be running the football, you still can line up. You can get some movement at the point of attack and find a little crease for your running back.
Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5. Defense looks as if it's coming. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain.
And that run really didn't go anywhere, and a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
I thought white noise was supposed to be relaxing. This is deafening on 3rd down. Fires to the big fella. He'll be stopped about 2 yards short of a first down.
Hey, really nice job on defense, too. Understanding the situation. It's 3rd down. We're fine giving up completions right there. We're not giving up the first down. We're keeping the football and the ball carrier in front of us, and we're tackling the catch. Awesome job, and now you've set up 4th down.
It is loud in here as they try to help them get a stop on 4th down. The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Boy, if they don't convert this 4th down, there will be questions to be answered. Hauls it in, the first down and more. Breaks into the open. Well, they just drained all of the suspense out of the 4th down conversion, moving the chains easily. And that can really take the wind out of a defense's sails when you convert with a 4th down completion.
Great chemistry there between the quarterback and his target. 4th down, you gotta have it. You gotta be on the same page, and they were there.
To the air on first down. And the defense gets home and makes a play at the 37-yard line.
Man, that's exactly what this defense needs. They found themselves now in a hole. They're trailing. Got to get pressure on this QB. Can't give him time to get comfortable. They get to him, get the big sack. Maybe this gets them back in the football game.
So now on 2nd and long, you start to think just don't fall out of field goal range. Back to pass. Under fire. Rolling, throwing, looking right. And it's incomplete, going for the massive explosive play instead. They're looking at a 3rd down.
Well, you see them there taking the shot. And I think the thought process is look, we've had so much success early in this game running the football. Let's see if we can now take advantage of the defense throwing the ball over their head. They're going to be expecting run. Safeties and linebackers are all going to be playing downhill trying to stop that. If we get the one-on-one opportunities to the outside, we have got to...
He's loose on the right. And he got away from the defense and takes it in. Touchdown, Buckeyes.
They have been road warriors here in this game, coming into a tough environment, but in all three phases, they have been absolutely dominant. Their defense is not allowed a point, and the offense is going up and down the field, and they score another touchdown here before the end of the first half.
The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Looking for blockers. Not a lot of space to be found. Good hustle by the coverage team, and they stop him at the 21. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. There's still plenty of time, but you see that 21-point deficit, and there is a sense of urgency now. He's stuffed after picking up one to the 23.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points.
Intercepted for the 11th time. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back.
And he makes a play in the back end. Nice job reading the pass, and that's his second of the season. This guy, unbelievable job seeing the quarterback, breaking on the quarterback, and going and getting that big play.
Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. That last drive, an absolute aerial assault for the touchdown, Jesse.
But it was a nice job in play calling too, David, just giving the quarterback some easy looks and reads so he could go out and execute.
And he knew exactly where to go with the football. Everything looked really, really easy. He was hot. The ball was coming out of his hands. The defense better do something different.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Gets the back moving. To the air on 2nd down. Got the quick pass. And they pick up just a few on that completion.
I know everyone's yelling like, you didn't get the first down, we need more yards. But if you think about it, nice short completion, sets up a 3rd down. And guess what? Nowadays, 4th down, green light. We're going to go for it anyways.
On 3rd down, he drops to throw. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Well, this is a disappointing drive for the offense, considering where this drive started in their opponent territory. Now you're 4th and long. You've got to be better throwing the football in those types of situations.
And the Buckeyes decide to punt it away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. And the coverage team gets the returner on the ground. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They just haven't been able to get anything going, and they better get started or it's going to get away from them, David.
Yeah, and these are the weeks that you really wish that you were playing a video game and you could just reset the console, start over, Jesse, and make something better happen early.
It just looked like they're sleepwalking in this first half, and it's not just one guy. They just haven't been playing collectively as a unit. And if I'm the head coach, I'm considering starting to give some other dudes some chances here.
Brown will throw it. Makes the grab. It's Landry. And the tackle is made, but there has been a flag thrown. Holding on the offense accepted, so they'll back up and go at it again. Offense gets set for 2nd down. Looking to fire. He's taking the shot. And they wanted it all on that incomplete pass. Instead, they're looking at third down.
And this defense, we know, they present a lot of challenges. And you could see it right there, man. They shrink windows fast. They're a top 25 defense for a reason. You really better make sure you're dialed in today, or else they can make you pay in a hurry.
You make up the game plan and not a lot on the play sheet for this. Third and long from inside their own 20. Quick pass to the left, trying to get it to the marker. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup.
Well, they weren't able to gain a lot of real estate on that last completion deep down in their own end. If anything, if you're looking for a silver lining, I guess the punter maybe has a little bit more room to try to get one off now on fourth.
Kick is in the air. Punt goes out of bounds and didn't do a whole lot to flip field position as they'll take over at the 40. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Sends it back in motion. The give to the back. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20 yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Caught near the sticks. It's Gaines. He goes out of bounds across the 25, mark it at the 24, and this defense, its head is spinning.
Good enough for first down.
They'll snap it from the 25 here on first down. Motion from the wideout. He'll pull it on the read. Slithers into space. Pass the sticks and still on his feet. Touchdown, Ohio State! And they take it in for 6 more points.
You talk about going on the road and making a statement. 27-0. Hostile environment beat dang. You talk about home field advantage. Well, it hasn't worked. They have come in and had answers and started this first half as good as you possibly can.
And the extra point makes it 28-0. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, it is now a final in the Big Ten and a game I think a lot of folks will want to see. Oregon delivered maybe its most thorough thumping in years in a game that featured a ton of big plays, not unlike the way LaMichael James, Kenyon Barner, and Jonathan Stewart used to do it. Iron sharpens iron, and you just know a Big Ten matchup like this is going to go a long way in telling the story of each of these teams' seasons.
Kevin, thanks a lot for that one. Sounds as if they had a good one there. And I think they'll give him 2 on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground, take away that run game, make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Brown wants to pass. Makes the grab. Turning it on. He'll get it up to about the 32-yard line before he stopped, and it'll be first down. The Nittany Lions want to crank the tempo. Wants to go up top on first down. He put it out there for him, and this senior gave him a chance, but they couldn't make the connection.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
And he was greeted by a host of defenders and barely gets it back to the line of scrimmage. Wow, this offense is doing nothing. They've already punted 4 times and staring at the possibility of a 5th. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Using the quick game. He'll have enough for the first down, and they stop him at the 45. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. They have been stagnant on offense, but finally a little forward movement as they've got a 1st and 10. They'll run it from the gun. Just ran over it.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in 2nd and short, not a good job by this defense.
And that's why he is an All-American caliber player. He is just so physical and dominant against the run. He's able to shed blockers, use his athleticism, use his speed, get to the ball carrier and bring him down. Simply one of the best box defenders you're going to find in the entire country.
He's down to the 38-yard line, and they can't stop the clock. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Brown will throw it. He can't find his man, and the clock stops with 6 seconds left.
Got to give the defense a lot of credit, man, because they've come into this hostile environment, and they've quieted the crowd down with some of the plays they're making. They've got a nice lead right here, and they're making it hard for this quarterback to go to work.
Just enough time to get off one final play of the half. 2nd and 10, he'll throw again. Fires to the wideout. On target to the left. A little excitement there to wrap up the first half, and that'll pad the stats as we go to the break. That's the end of the 2nd quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. The Buckeyes will boot it away to start the 2nd half. Here he comes from inside his own 5. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes, and they'll stop him at the 16. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. Huge deficit to start this 3rd quarter. They just need to find something to build a little confidence.
Yeah, it hasn't gone well. When you're trailing by this much, this first drive, man, does everything matter and hinge on this? Because every possession in the 2nd half is going to be critical.
Yeah, and I think if you're on offense, why hold back? What are you worried about? Nothing went well in the first half for you, and at this point, trailing by as much as you are, throw caution to the wind, be aggressive, and let's just see what happens.
Oh, they're after him. Finds a spot in the middle. Works his way to the 41, and that is plenty to give him a first down. The Nittany Lions moving quickly to the line.
That's a huge throw for the offense, but they're down by a ton. They're going to need a lot more of that, and it's not going to be easy considering the defense knows they're probably going to be throwing the ball every play here in the 2nd half moving forward.
Didn't get much done on that run. He'll fight his way out and maybe pick up a yard.
And yeah, that's kind of surprising. We talked about this before the game. One of the big matchups. Run the football against a defense that's been susceptible against the run throughout the season. But this offense just can't find a way to get it going. And I'm surprised, but now what's your counterpunch? How are you going to get the ground game going? Because so far, not a lot of success.
Well, it's a nice job, too, of the quarterback after the play fake there, getting his eyes down the field. He had to get that to his tight end quickly, knowing he wasn't going to have a lot of space to run with after the catch.
They're about to wear this punter out. He's already been out 4 times, staring at a 5th if they can't move the chain. Nowhere to go with the ball, and down he goes at the 39. With a double-digit deficit here in the 2nd half, they're going to go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he dropped it. Just didn't look it all the way in, and they'll turn it over on downs. They spun that wheel of fortune on 4th down and come up bankrupt. Here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. They've been dominant, and now they'll try to execute to their own standard. Power football with the run. Just what this offense was looking for. Sets him up at the 26 with the first down.
Man, he has been the definition of consistent all year long. You talk about building a team. You get a guy like this that you can hand the football, and he makes play after play after play. That's why he's #2 in college football in rushing, and that's why he's in the Heisman Trophy picture. A running back in the Heisman Trophy picture. It's kind of been a dying element. This guy's very much in the race.
Down to the 26-yard line and a first down. Might as well run him until they stop him. He's got it again. He's now up to 95 yards on the ground, and that's just another routine day for this guy who's been among the nation's leaders in rushing all season long. The Buckeyes will try to punch it in on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. He'll be hauled down just inside the 10 at the 9 as they're trying to turn this into a score.
And what's the closest guy to the football, man? It's those defensive tackles, and those guards and centers have to work together. They got to get those guys and get some movement. They don't on this play, and the big fella eats. Nowhere to go. When you run into him, you usually meet the ground.
And that defense pushing him out of bounds after a short gain.
I like the aggressiveness by this defense. You've got to play tight on the wide receivers. There's not a lot of space on the field. You've got to be aggressive, and you've got to make tackles.
They've pushed it forward down to the 5, but now looking at 3rd and goal. They want to run this quarterback. He did not make it a stone wall on 3rd down. They'll send out the kicker to try to salvage this drive. And this one ought to be nice and easy, a 22-yard attempt. Didn't make him sweat at all. It's good. Hold on just a second. There's a flag on the field. Let's see what's up with that. That lead just keeps getting fatter, and this kickoff team doing a little running. And he takes this from inside the 5. And the returner runs out of real estate as he goes down. They've got the big fellas out there, a 3 tight end look on 1st and 10. Trying to turn the corner on the left. There he goes. That'll be good enough for a first down. They'll mark it at the 30.
This running back is so dynamic, and you've got to be able to take advantage of his speed by getting him to the outside. So that's why you dial up the toss play there. It's a nice way to change it up and get this guy in space to go make plays.
Looking to throw on 1st down. The throw. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming.
This is a situation here in the 3rd quarter this offense did not want to be in, facing a top 10 defense, one of the best units in the entire country. They didn't want to get down on the scoreboard like this and all of a sudden have to throw the football when the defense knew that was going to happen. The incompletion there is not a big surprise. This defense knows what's coming, and it's all because of the points right now on the scoreboard.
On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. They've got the screen set up. Still on his feet at the 45. Smashes through and runs through another guy. And he'll take it in and house it. Touchdown, Penn State! conversion attempt is on the way. Looking to throw. He gets in there for the two-point conversion, and now it's a three-possession game.
I like it. Nice execution. Catch the football. Get it out of your hand. Nice rhythm, nice timing for that two-point conversion.
Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Buckeyes roll that offense back out there. They still have a cushion, but you don't want to feed that hope with unproductive drives. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
Well, this defense obviously knows they have to be able to stop the run now in the second half if they're going to win this game. And you wonder if they were able to make some tweaks and some adjustments at halftime, maybe getting some more bodies close to the line of scrimmage to give themselves a chance to come back in this game.
Quarterback now breaking the field. Got him downfield. Powers through. All by himself down the middle. Touchdown, Buckeyes. He got loose, and it was lights out after that. Now they have extended this lead, guys, starting to put the hammer, but sometimes a rivalry game can give you a little of extra fight back.
And there can be no panic at this point now. You've worked too hard this offseason, David. They've had this game circled for so long. You've got to play your best football right now and fight back.
And you just need something good to happen on this next possession. You got to get the crowd back into this football game. Big rivalry. Get some emotion. Get some momentum on your side.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Slips through the line. He's on the loose. Goes out of bounds, but not before he takes that return into plus territory at the 47. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. They haven't had a whole lot of production nor much to show for it on the scoreboard so far, and if they're going to get back in this game, it needs to start right now. And he does a really nice job finding open space and making a good gain before the stop is made. The Nittany Lions with myriad options after that big pickup on first down. They go to the ground, and this one will be stopped for no gain.
I got to be honest, I am shocked at just how well the defense has played in this game, especially stopping the run. We talked about statistically how they've struggled this season, but they have put the clamps down in this one, and they're just playing with a ton of intensity.
He just couldn't hold his water long enough at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a penalty. The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. They'll have to get it to the 37 on third down. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds the tight end. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. Facing this double-digit deficit here in the second half, almost a no-brainer to go for it on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he dropped it. He just lost his concentration and didn't look it all the way in. Desperately wanted to convert on fourth down, but couldn't do it. Ready to fire from the pistol. Defensive coordinator showing heat before the snap. They'll see if they can find some running room on the right here. Makes it past the marker. He now has 108 yards on the ground, and he has his eyes fixed on leading the nation in rushing.
Defenses have had their hands full slowing this guy down all season long. It's the speed, and it's the open field running ability and vision. That's why he's second in the nation in rushing yards, and that's why he's square in the conversation for the Heisman Trophy.
Moving away from pressure. And this one's not working. He'll just throw it away.
Like the job by the defense there in coverage. They took every option away from the quarterback. He was outside of the pocket, nowhere to go with it, so they forced the incompletion throwaway.
Working well behind the sticks on second down. Running back searching for a hole. Oh, he's got some space. And he's able to find a little bit of running room before they get him down.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. Well, guys, Ohio State has the lead here. And as we switch ends of the field, let's take a quick look at the national rankings. I guess if you're an optimist, the stage is set for a massive fourth-quarter comeback. With the break, they had a little extra time to dial something up for this third down play. Defense showing blitz here. To the ground to try to pick up the first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains.
That has got to be so demoralizing for the defense. You haven't been able to stop this guy all game long. And here on third down, they're handing it off to him anyway because they don't think you can stop him. This defense right now, you see a lot of people hanging their heads a little bit because they're not playing with tons of confidence.
And the Buckeyes can play this second down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. On the move. And that ball's on the ground behind the line. I don't know if it was luck or aggression or just a fortuitous bounce, but at least they've got the ball back.
Well, one thing I do know, Reese, this running back has got to do a better job with ball security. You cannot turn the football over and expect to win this game. They're very lucky they were able to jump on top of that one.
Ball at the 31, third and short coming, defense trying to rise up. From the gun, wants to pass. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. Fourth down coming up.
Well, the offense has had their way all game long up to this point. Finally, the defense is able to make a play. And I'll tell you, after that hit, that receiver, he's going to be thinking twice about running that route again.
Never a doubt. And they just tack on a little more to this gargantuan lead. They keep pushing that lead out, and the kickoff team's getting some work. He'll start the return inside his 5. Good job by the coverage unit to stop the return man. Penn State sends the offense back onto the field. It looks as if this game is going to be one to just drag to the recycle bin, but the idea now is to finish strong and just take whatever happens in the rankings next week. And the Nittany Lions will hustle to the line.
How about this defense rising to the challenge? Focal point number 1.
Breaks into the open. He'll be stopped at the 27, but picks up 10 on that one. They'll put it in play from the 27, first down.
Defense gives up the pretty big run. They get the first down. And listen, you got to reload quick now because this offense, they got their foot on the accelerator.
Nice route there by the tight end, making it real easy for his quarterback to find an easy completion.
Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. So now it's second and long. Wants to go up top. Snagged out of the air. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Nittany Lions come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to convert here. On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. They're working that left side. Such a big part to convert these 3rd downs, and they've got it at the 42.
You know, it's a nice throw by the QB there. When you're throwing to running backs, you got to make it easy on them. So you want to put it right on their body, make the catch simple, and let them go to work like they did just there, getting that first.
He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up.
Got to give the defense credit. Watching film, anticipating. They knew that this offense had this play in their back pocket. They knew about the speed of this wide receiver and different ways they were going to try to get him involved. Everybody on defense on the same page, playing together. I love it.
And he was on his way. Gets it all the way to the 38.
The offense has struggled. They're not going to win this game, but trust me, this coaching staff is still trying to find things to build off of for next week. And after an explosive play like that, maybe they can generate just a little bit of momentum and gain a little bit of confidence that they can keep coaching up heading into their next game.
The Nittany Lions can really attack on this 2nd and short.
You got to like this defense, man. All game long, great job tackling the football. Like, you throw it on the perimeter, they're coming up. They're not giving the run after the catch of these receivers. A lot of times you see so much damage done after the catch. This defense has been dialed in, and the big play has been a non-issue.
Balls and fired complete. Working their way closer and closer. A 3rd down conversion, and they've got it at the 26. 3rd down, a lot of times it comes down to not necessarily who's the most open, who do you trust the most?
Yeah, it's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And when my guy's better than you and I get you matched up out wide and I know I trust you, I'm finding you.
Second down, they'll go to the air. Intercepted. Big play stops the drive. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's past, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this D.
Okay, here comes the Ohio State offense onto the field. David, they couldn't pay off that last drive with a touchdown.
Now, they moved the ball down the field and executed like they wanted to until they stalled out and had to settle for a field goal.
I think if you want to take the next step, too, here and score a touchdown, you got to start finding more creative ways to get your best players the ball. Let's see if they can do that here.
Give to the big fullback. They stop him in his track, trying to sneak that fullback loose and nothing doing.
Everybody loves those trick plays, man, those misdirections, but the problem is when you stay home and you play the play really disciplined and sound like this defense does, you knock it dead, and a lot of times for a loss, and put the offense in a bind.
They want that clock to run. And the spin move bought him a little time, just not a lot of yardage.
The big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
Nothing open downfield, so he'll just toss it away.
Great job by this defense. They started the drive with the offense backed up, in the shadow of their own end zone. Nice job being aggressive, keeping them there, and now they're going to have a chance to flip the field and really give their offense good field position.
Takes it on the return. And the punt team able to smack him to the ground. The Nittany Lions going back to work on offense now. That last drive was promising for a while, but you just can't mess it up. Turning it on! And he crosses the goal line and gets the touchdown, but way too little, way too late. But they still do count it for 6. In a lot of loss losses, you just want to burn the tape. You don't want to watch it. But I think there are some things that they can take into next week from this performance.
No doubt. Offense is about finding your rhythm, finding your groove, what you do well. And you can tell, at least now, starting to get a little something going that maybe you can build.
Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Makes the grab for the two-point conversion as they cut further into that lead.
And it's more common to throw for the two-point conversion than it is to run anymore. So you practice these a lot. You can tell. Nice timing, nice rhythm, in sync, nice two-point conversion.
They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. On the move from inside his 5. And they'll bring him down to get the offense started on the next drive. This drive will open from the 15. Leaves it with the running back. Across the 25, he's got room. He'll get a fresh set of downs, stopped at the 31-yard line.
Fresh legs, man, and it is showing. Of course, this team had the bye last week, and you're seeing it right now late in the game, running the football, imposing their will against the defense that looks tired. Of course, they had to play last week, and you're seeing that right now.
They'll give it to him again. Not a whole lot of room to run. Let's give him a couple.
And I'll tell you what, it's really nice at this point in the game if you can lean on your run game. When you have the lead, you've got the football late in the game, you can chew that clock and start to really make that defense have a little bit of panic.
Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Line is set on 3rd down. From the gun, they'll try the middle. He's not going to make it. What a job by this defense to stop him in his tracks. Defense uses a timeout quickly, trying to get that ball back and preserve time for their offense. The Buckeyes will punt this one away. They'll look to pin him deep. And he is knocked down immediately after the catch. That punt coverage team had its hair on fire. Opening snap of this drive comes from the 31-yard line. They'll try the run. He's stopped dead in his tracks again. No running room to be found. They keep trying and have had very little success. Got stuffed on 1st down. It's 2nd and 10. They'll try to get the edge with the toss play here. And he'll lose yardage on this play. Loses 2 yards. Great job by the defense. The offense will quickly use a timeout. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds his man. It's Landry. He'll be stopped short of the line to gain. Needed about 3 more on that one.
And listen, the defense playing really conservative, right? You got the lead, but here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get sacks. I got to get to the quarterback. Like, I got to make sure I'm getting him, knocking him off the spot, padding my stat.
Converts on 4th down, and he's still going. And not much of a 4th down gamble when it's that much of a sure thing. An easy conversion for this offense. And they got to the line expeditiously, spiked it, and stopped the clock.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd down.
And here we go. Final play of the game right here. Might be changing the route. Wants to fire on 2nd down. What a job to lay out and make the catch. How about the zip this junior put on that ball to pick up the 1st down? With Ohio State once again taking down Penn State in this one, the Nittany Lion fans left to wonder what might have been. That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.